What's going on, my people? Two massive Champions League semi-finals in less than a week. Arsenal are flying. PSG look dangerous. Barcelona have found their form again. But can Inter Milan ruin it all? In this video, we are going to recap the quarterfinals. I'm going to give you my predictions of what I think is going to happen in each leg of the semi-finals. And of course, give you my Gooner-based opinions of what I think is also going to happen leading into the final of the Champions League. Looking at the quarterfinals, where else to start than the remontada itself? We absolutely worked Real Madrid over two legs. There's not even much that needs to be said. They turn up with their 2025 Galacticos. They came to the Emirates, they got worked. It wasn't just about 2 free kicks. We've done it without Gabriel at centre-back. We've done it with an 18-year-old wonder kid at left-back. We've done it with a centre defensive mid playing up front. Yes, we scored 2 fantastic free kicks, but we absolutely dominated them in that match. Then what happened? We went to the Bernabeu. And everyone heard the 90 minutes in the Bernabeu is a long time. Turns out it is a long time, but it was not a long time for us. I don't have much to talk about other than how many times do we have to do it for people to stop doubting us. We keep showing up time and time again, and people keep saying the same thing about Arsenal. That's that quarterfinal done. I have nothing left to say on the matter. Moving on to PSG Aston Villa, seen as the best team in Europe right now. I don't know why. I really don't know why they're seen as the best team in Europe at the moment, but they played Aston Villa at the Parc des Princes, and they done well in that first leg. They done really well. They were pretty dominant across the pitch. But that second leg, Aston Villa exposed all of their weaknesses. Every single weakness they exposed. It was one hell of a matchup. It was one hell of a matchup to be 3-1 down, to finish losing 5-4. Flowers to Aston Villa. They deserve it. They came up against I'm not saying they're not a great team. I just don't know why they're considered the best in Europe at the moment. But they came up against a great team and they put in a good battle. Unfortunately, they just couldn't cross the final hurdle. But what I saw from that game was I saw weaknesses in PSG's team that can be exploited. Now, moving on to the other side of the draw, Barcelona, Borussia Dortmund. This was a matchup sent from the heavens. For Barcelona to absolutely walk over Dortmund in that first game, smashing them 4-0. Dortmund didn't stand a chance. And then that second leg to beat Barca 3-1, and they could have beaten them. They could have scored a lot more. They wasted some very, very good chances. But it showed that Barcelona are the attacking force that we've all come to know them to be. But they leak goals. They leak far too many goals. And I think that could be a problem for them against this Inter Milan team. Speaking of which, Inter Milan against Bayern Munich. Again, this was another really, really great draw. Good couple of games. Inter Milan winning the first one away from home, 2-1. And their captain, Lautaro, doing the business, doing what it is he is supposed to do, carrying his team forward. 2-1 in the Allianz, a great result. Then they came back to the San Siro. You would have expected them to shut out that game. What Bayern Munich showed, similar to Aston Villa with PSG, is that Inter Milan have weaknesses that can be exploited. They have weaknesses that can be exploited. They have ways in which you can get through them. If Harry Kane had made the most of a couple of chances that he had, that game could have been very different, and we would have been seeing Barcelona, Bayern Munich in the other semi-final. Moving on to the semi-finals, where else am I going to start other than Arsenal, PSG? It seems like everyone has forgotten that we already beat PSG this season. We beat them 2-0. We sent them home. Thank you very much. See you later. All I'm hearing is that PSG are the best team in Europe. PSG are the most informed team in Europe. Yes, they've already won the French league, which in terms of standard, we all know it isn't that great. They would not be doing the same thing if they were in one of the other top leagues in Europe. But in the Champions League, they barely scraped through to the knockout stage for the round of 16. We weren't the only team to do them over. We weren't the only team to put them in that position. And they're not that different a team. The main thing that we keep hearing is that PSG are a different outfit. In the space of a couple of months, they signed Kvaratskhelia. That's it. A fantastic signing, may I say. It was a brilliant signing, and he is class for them. But it's not enough to change the team so drastically that we should be getting wiped from every single pundit's opinion. If we look through the team one by one, I don't see how people can hold PSG in so much higher of a regard than us. David Raya or Donnarumma is a good conversation. Donnarumma has had this image around him since he burst onto the scene as this giant 18-year-old at AC Milan, but on current form, him and David Raya are very evenly matched. At right back, Hakimi, I personally think he's one of the most overrated right backs we have ever seen in football. He's a fantastic player, but what has he done to grant him this idea of being the best in the world? He's been at PSG, which we've already discussed, and we know are in a league which is not filled with competition. I would take Yuri Timber over Hakimi. The centre-backs, obviously, I can't talk about Gabriel because he's out injured. William Saliba walks into that team. Jakub Kivior has come in to our setup and made us feel like we're not even slightly missing Gabriel. Left back, Mendes, I feel like his status is inflated due to the lack of competition in the league that he's in. Would I have him in our team over Miles Lewis-Skelly on form right now alone? Not a chance. Not a chance in hell. There's no way I would have him over Lewis-Skelly on current form. Declan Rice, no conversation. He is what £100 million looks like. Martin Odegaard. This is a struggle for a lot of people. I am a massive Martin Odegaard fan. I think he walks into 90% of teams in the world because he offers a level of creativity that you don't get anywhere else. People want to see him score goals. They want to see him get assists. And when he's not getting them, they feel like he's having a bad season. But we played the first game against PSG without Martin Odegaard. And even though we came away with a win, we lacked that creative flair. We didn't have someone that could actually drop into the pocket, take the ball on the turn, create 5-6 yards of space, and then create an opportunity for someone else to then build play. So I feel like Martin Odegaard falls into that team perfectly. On the left wing, Kvaratskhelia, yes, I'll take him. Martinelli is playing fantastic right now. I would take Kvaratskhelia. On the right wing, Bradley Barcola, Bukayo Saka, it's not even a conversation. Let's just move on from that. Up front, well, we don't have a striker. I love and appreciate what Mikel Marino has been doing for us, but we don't have a striker. So yes, I would have Ousmane Dembele. Now, obviously, we are missing Thomas Partey in this game, which does make a big difference because it means we are going to have a shift. Does Mikel Marino drop back into centre defensive mid and then we play Leandro Trossard up front? Or do we bring Ben White in at right back, put Timber at left back and have the young gun move into centre defensive mid, which is Lewis Skelly's more natural position? Or do we simply put Zinchenko at left back and move Lewis Skelly up into centre defensive mid? Those are my options of what I think we can do to work around this game, but you let me know what you think in the comments. Now, before I move on to Barcelona versus Inter Milan, I just want to take a second to ask you to like the video, leave a comment down below, subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss a video. Every single piece of interaction helps and I am eternally grateful to every single one of you. We're now going to cover Barcelona versus Inter Milan. I think this is a very well matched semi-final in terms of ability, and I think it's going to go one of two ways. Either Inter Milan are going to really do what they do best, which is control a game, control defensively, limit the number of goals, limit the number of chances, and we're going to have a really even matchup. Or Barcelona are going to fly and they are going to score a ton of goals. Across the board, I think it's a really well-matched game that we have on our hands. Wojciech Szczesny, being a former Arsenal man, I have a soft spot for him. Of course, they have Koundé at right back, who is a fantastic player. Barcelona may be without Balde, but they still have so much quality in that team moving forward up the pitch. They have Pedri, they have Rafinha, they have Lewandowski, they have Lamine Yamal, who now I'm going to anger a lot of people here. Lamine Yamal is going to be one of the best, if not the best player in the world. But right now, he should not be considered in the same conversation as Mohamed Salah, and he should not be considered in a conversation ahead of Bukayo Saka. I think it is outrageous. I will say he is just as good a player in world football as Miles Lewis-Skelly is right now. But that's not taken away from Lamine Yamal, because I think that Miles Lewis-Skelly is playing as the best left back in the world right now. I just don't think that he should be in the debate that he is. But Barcelona clearly have a lot in that team to get the job done and score a lot of goals. What they're coming up against is an incredibly reliable keeper in Jan Sommer, one of the best centre-backs one of the best young centre-backs in the world, in Bastoni. I think there's only two centre-backs that are better than him, in my personal opinion, and those are William Saliba and Virgil van Dijk. DeMarco in the middle of the pitch on his day is a force to be reckoned with. Marcus Thuram as a second support striker, he is the perfect assist. He is the perfect help. And Lautaro Martinez has been one of the most highly sought after strikers in world football for a long time now. He is Inter Milan. His blood runs blue. He loves that club. He wears that captain's armband with pride, and he can cause problems for absolutely any team on any day. With that said, my predictions for the semi-finals. I think that at home, we are going to beat PSG reasonably comfortably. 2-0, potentially 3-0. I'm going to go with 2-0. And I also think that away from home, it would be maybe 1-0 to us or 2-1 like it was at the Bernabeu. I'm going to lock in through to the Champions League final. Arsenal beating PSG 4-1 on aggregate. Barcelona, Inter Milan. Like I said, I think this can go one of two ways. I think that they're going to draw at the Nou Camp 1-1. And they will beat Barcelona 3-1 at home, leading Arsenal in the final. Now, time for my Gooner-based opinion. People need to stop doubting us. We keep doing it. We keep proving them wrong again and again and again. I think we have one of the best teams in world football. I would rather Barcelona in the final than I would Inter Milan. Barcelona leak goals. But I'm not overly worried about Inter Milan. One thing I've heard a lot of recently is that Inter Milan do everything Arsenal do, just better. The problem I have with that is nobody watches Serie A. Unless you are a diehard Italian football fan or you live in Italy, do not watch Serie A. But all of a sudden, now it comes down to the possibility of an English team playing against Inter Milan. Everyone has become an Inter Milan expert. You have not watched enough football to form that opinion. Inter Milan have conceded more goals than us, and we've had a poor season in comparison to the last two. Inter Milan have only scored about 5 goals more than us, and they've only got 4 extra points than we do at this point in the season. They're currently competing for the league with Napoli. They're joint on 71 points. I think all of that's going to work in our favour. I don't think they've proven to have anything better than us in terms of doing the same thing as what we do. I'm backing us. I'm backing us all the way. So I'm going to say we're going to go to the final. I'm not going to give my final prediction now, but we are playing Inter Milan in the final and we're going to bring it home. We are going to bring the Champions League home this season. Guys, thank you for staying to the end of the video. Like I said, don't forget to like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. All of my relative links for my other social media channels, my TikTok, my Instagram, they are all down in the description below. Go check them out, give them a follow. I appreciate every single one of you. and I'll catch you in the next one.